kids made fun of me because I didn't smoke or cuss or join in inappropriate conversations. It was then that I really became ashamed of being a Christian because it didn't really seem cool. I didn't really fit in, and I wanted to really be cool, fit in with the bad kids. I wanted to try to talk to the girls, even though I really know how to. I wanted to be a ladies' man. And I was like, man, this Jesus thing is stopping all that. Or was it? I don't know. So, fast forward, I was introduced to porn at this age, at the age of 10. During this time, the internet was getting more popular, from dial-up to faster connection. Me and a few friends went over a buddy's house of mine who had the fastest internet, and he wanted to show us some cool videos. So I had no idea what porn was at that time. But when he showed us those pictures and videos on the computer, I couldn't look away. At that one moment, I did try to be the Christian kid and say, hey y'all, come on, this isn't right. Turn this off. Even though I was liking what I was seeing, to be honest with you. But of course, everybody was like, oh, come on, man. They call me all types of names. And, it was like, Jesus freak and all that stuff. So I caved in because I wanted to fit in. I wanted to be accepted. So, I watched the porn with them. So fast forward to age 16, during this time, I'm getting more involved into porn. That small C at 10 really started to grow. Now I'm into magazines. Now I'm into videos. At this time, I'm even buying porn. I mean, like, who does that? Porn is free. You know what I mean? I was wasting my money.
You go, boy. Wasting my money.
Yeah, that too. Actually, at times I would steal my dad's credit card, so I was wasting his money too. So basically, I was doing that, and during this time, my parents were separating again for like the second time, and my sister was no longer the golden child of the family. She was diagnosed with schizophrenia and started dealing with some personal issues of her own. And she went to live on her own. And I wish at that time that I could say that I was worried for her, but because of my selfishness and my self-centeredness, to be honest, I was almost relieved. I'm just being honest with you. Because I felt as though, all right, now that she's gone, maybe I can feel accepted by my parents. Maybe now I can feel good enough. So as time went on, and about young adulthood, about 18 to 20, I was no longer just indulging in porn, but now entertaining women. It went from porn, but porn wasn't enough. Then it's like, all right, I'm going to do some live camera stuff, look at women on the live camera, but that wasn't good enough. I want to touch now. Now that I'm touching, it's like, all right, it's not enough. Maybe I want to have a different woman, every day. All right, well, maybe now I want to have two at once. And the thing is, the flesh is never satisfied.
Amen. Amen.
It's never satisfied. So it's like doing all these things never really satisfied my flesh. And it says in Galatians 5:17, for the desires of the flesh are against the spirit.
Amen.
And the desires of the spirit are against the flesh. For these are opposed to each other to keep you from doing the things you want to do. During this time, my parents were separated again for like the fourth time. My mom went to live with my grandmother, and it was just my dad and I living home alone. To be honest, I would numb any feelings about the situation or any tough situation with porn or with humor to mask my emotions. If anything, that could help me escape. I was looking for something to fill this emptiness in me. I thought these instant gratifications would lead to satisfaction or peace or maybe joy. I thought maybe venturing out on entertainment, video games, porn, or just going from girl to girl. Because actually, when I was younger, my dad would tell me all his stories about when he was younger. He was with so many girls and all that stuff. And, as a kid, like, yeah, that stuff is cool to you. And, I always feel like I I had to live up to that. I was like, man, my dad did all that. I want to live up to that. But age 10 to 15, like I said, I didn't really know how to talk to girls. And I know when I was younger, my dad would be like, hey, you see that girl right there? She's looking at you. And I'm like, I don't really know. And I could tell he was kind of disappointed, like, come on. So by the time I was like 18, I feel like, all right, I'm going to make up for that time by messing with all these women. That would make my dad proud. And that was just pretty much the flesh talking, and once again, it was never satisfied. So, and once again, I wanted to feel good enough. I don't know for who, but I just wanted to feel good enough. So, the thing is, with these women, I never did have sex with them. I did everything that I wanted to do, but I never did have sex with them because I still wanted to remain as a Christian. You know what I mean? Because obviously, no sex before marriage. So I wanted to do as much as possible without doing the fullness of it. Because also, I wanted to feel like I was still better than my other Christian friends who were having sex, so that I could judge them. You know what I mean? And it made me feel like I still want to appear as righteous to people. This self-righteousness. And, to be honest, I'm still working on that. So because of my own insecurity, I would compare myself to them. And I would say, well, Lord, I thank you that I'm not out here having sex with anyone like the rest of these folks. And in Luke 18, verse 11, it says, the Pharisee stood by himself and prayed, God, I thank you that I'm not like these people. Robbers, the evildoers, the adulterers, or even this tax collector. I fast twice a week and give a tenth of all I get. But the tax collector, he stood at a distance and he said, he would not even look up to heaven. And he said, God have mercy on me, for I am a sinner. Amen. So once again, in my early adulthood, my parents, once again, they separated for the 4th, 5th time. God bless them.
Go, boy!
That's them in the front row, by the way. My beautiful wife. By this time I dated and I fell in love with this one girl who happened to be my first love. She had a son. She had a 3-year-old son. And we dated, and the relationship was kind of toxic, and I thought she was the one. To be honest, I didn't really much care for her son. I felt she loved her son more than me. Duh. I mean, that's what but to be honest, looking back, it's like duh. But at that moment, I was so concerned about me. I wanted to know, I wanted to be first because of my self-centeredness and need for acceptance. And I wanted to know if I was good enough. So, that 10-year-old kid in me was coming out, but I was unaware of it. So time went on, and I decided that this is the woman that I'm going to marry anyway. So, I'm going to give her my V card. In other words, my virginity. And so that happened. Then later on, I decided, I'm going to propose to her. And she said yes. That celebration was short-lived, and because she told me that she was pregnant. I was like, oh wow, that was quick. And basically, in my mind, because I was so unfazed, I was like, we're good. You're my wife anyway. We're gonna get married. We're all right. And a few months later, sadly we lost a child due to a miscarriage. And after that, the relationship just became more toxic, and we broke up. So once again, I'm hurt, broken. I didn't really feel like anyone I could really talk to about this pain. So I did what I know best. I went to my drug of choice. And the sad thing about porn, because it's a drug, whether it's coke, meth, alcohol, the thing about porn is it's hard to see the effects of it. You can just get done masturbating to leave the house and still, look like you sometimes. Sometimes you can see the side effects with other drugs. So, that was my drug of choice, and I would use it to numb my feelings with the porn, and once again, going back to women. each different day. At the time, I barely knew these women, but I just needed something to escape. So months later, I meet my now wife, who was always working at my old job, which was a nursing home job. And I thought she was a pretty chocolate girl, very quiet. I could tell she wasn't one of those fast girls that I was dealing with. Very quiet, very noble, very, just innocent. So I was like, whoa, I ain't gonna mess with her. I paid her no mind, because I was like, man, I feel like dealing with a nice girl. I feel like right now my mindset is, get my freak on. I'm just keeping it, honest, open and transparent. So it was something one day she said, I can't remember, and she knows what I'm talking about. Like, she said something about Christ, something about God. And it just struck my spirit. She wasn't even talking to me. I can't remember what happened, but I was like, man, that's sexy. All right. I was like, you know what? I never really been with a Christian girl. So, we asked her out. She said, yeah. We went on a few dates, and we started dating. And also, I forgot to mention, she, from the get-go, her mom and I, we never did get along. We really started to butt heads. Looking back, because basically her mom was a single mom, and it was just them growing up, so it was just them against the world. So she, her mom feels that I was just coming in between the relationship. At that time, I didn't see it that way. At that time, when her mom rejected me, I felt as though it was like, wow, okay, so you're saying I'm not good enough. You're saying that basically you're not accepting me. You're reaffirming once again the insecurity in me. That little boy was coming out again. But basically still, my wife and I, we still dated, and we got engaged. And my parents, they warned us, don't do it. Y'all not ready. We definitely want to see y'all get married, but you all got to deal with, your own baggage first. And it's like, psh, man, we're good. I was like, look, man, y'all had like 5 separations. Y'all should be the last ones talking. So.
Go, boy.
Yeah. So, and I respect their decision, their reasoning, but, we went along with the marriage, we went along with the wedding and everything. We got married, and to be honest, we did it too fast. We got engaged and married the same year, and of course, her mom didn't want us to get married as well for her own personal reasons. But we got married. It was great. Then 3 to 5 months later, she's pregnant. So it didn't really, to be honest, it didn't really dawn on me, because in my mind, I don't know if she's gonna have this baby anyway, because of my last situation. So it didn't really dawn on me that, I was a parent until I was actually holding our son Eli. So, we had the baby, so now we're learning to be parents and still learning to be spouses. And so now we got more baggage on top of baggage, and we didn't even deal with our own baggage. So, basically, I'll say fast forward about 5 months later, we're already talking about divorce. Why? Because basically those issues was glossed over with lovey-dovey and, we're gonna be together forever, but then life started to happen. So, as time went on, we took our focus off of each other and just kept our focus on our son. So it's like all of our love and affection just went to our son Eli. Basically, we were both just roommates, like in and out of the marriage. Like sometimes we were, on one accord, but that was pretty rare. But I would say most times it was just always arguments every day, just being roommates and just dealing with each other. So I would say definitely the only thing that kept us together was God, of course, but also the love for our son. And as time went on, I'm sorry, let me see where I'm at. Oh, I'm sorry. Also, once again, to deal with the pain, to escape the marriage, I went to porn, entertainment, social media, anything to just really escape. So one day my wife and I, we had another big argument, and I go into, my little corner, she goes to her little corner, she went to the bathroom, she comes back out, looks at me and says, "I'm pregnant." Then she storms off. And I'm just like, oh, bruh. I was like, man, dang, I was trying to be single. I was like, man, now I gotta deal with this. And, it was just at that moment, I was just kind of really broken. I was devastated, angry, bemused, just another word for like confused, puzzled. It was just all these mixtures of feelings. And it was the first time I actually started talking to God, because in the beginning, God was just in my mind. My relationship with the Lord was in my mind, but now I really started talking to Him with my heart, because I was just tired of being sick and tired. So, I really started praying to the Lord, just saying, Lord, I surrender to you. I pray you just take over this situation, because it was not getting any better. Jeremiah 29:11. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you, not to harm you, plans to give you hope in the future. So during this time, I finally decided to take my dad on this offer about coming to CR in Glen Burnie. For a while, he's been telling me that, but I would kind of brush him off. For a while, he was trying to force a sponsor on me. Who's a great sponsor of mine, Tim. He is the best. But I did not ask for Tim. He was pushed on me. But we have a great friendship now. I call him almost like every day. During that moment, I was just calling him to keep my dad quiet, just check out the box. So basically, at that moment, because I was already kind of going to the CR in Beltsville because it was closer. But to be honest, I wasn't being challenged there. It was like a smaller group. I didn't have a sponsor, no accountability. And I didn't really have to submit. So, and also, to be honest, just being honest, open, transparent, I felt more comfortable there because I saw people who looked like me. So when God brought me here to CR in Glen Burnie, I was like, hey, not too many people here look like me. So, I love all people, but it's so easy to get comfortable with people, who looks like you. You know what I mean? So, and God had to put me in an unfamiliar setting to point out that character defect in me. And I was like, oh man. He was like, yeah, bro. I was like, oh, okay. I'm just trying to keep it hot, And you're only as sick as your secrets. So, but definitely, so let me get back to it. So finally I accepted his offer to come out to CR at Glen Burnie because I wanted to stop looking at my wife. I was praying about her, but not for her.
Amen.
And, I really wanted to, get better. So when I went to CR here, man, is the best. It's really I was being around other Christian men with real issues who were thriving to please Christ as well. And also I saw how CR program, helped my mom and my dad individually and also in their marriage. And so I had faith that it could do the same for me. And I attended the step study and just finished that. And the 12 steps was amazing. And it just chiseled a lot of things and blew me away and made me get connected to my inner self. Like like, man, it really made me realize a lot of denial, because sometimes I don't like to get in touch with my feelings. So, the steps that it forces you to, get in touch with it. So that was really a blessing. And the other thing I learned is, I know this might sound crazy what I'm about to say is, but I'm learning to listen to my flesh. I know that sounds crazy. And I mentioned this one time in step group. When I listen to my flesh, because you got your flesh, soul, and your spirit. Your soul is your mind, your will, and the emotions. And whenever your soul is hurt, your flesh is there to meet that need. Your flesh just want to make you feel good. Whether it's porn and all the things I just listed. So I would listen to my flesh. I would give it its say, but not its way, because I really, other than like rebuking my flesh, I want to review it. I don't want to just tear down a stronghold, which is good, but I want to, before I tear it down, I want to, all right, let me deconstruct this so I can see how it was built in the first place. You know what I mean? So that's one thing that really helped, kind of like a self-evaluation by myself. So Matthew 11:28 says, "Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and humble in heart." Excuse me. And my burden is, I'm sorry, I'm messing up the verse, but y'all know the verse, right? Okay. Moving on. For the sake of time, let's move on. All right.
I can't.
So, okay. So basically, I just started to work on me, and the Lord started to work on me and my heart, and He was healing me and my marriage. And I was no longer, like I said, praying about her, but praying for her, and just praying for her healing, for her peace, and asking the Lord to help me to be a better husband, and help me to really cover my bride, and because before I was just like, man, Lord, you see what I'm dealing with. And just be honest, but now the Lord has changed my attitude, like, man, like, how can I be a better husband, to my bride?
Wow.
So that's one thing that I really bless the Lord for, and He used CR as a tool to really, help put that out of me. And my wife, after a while, she started to see a new man, and she wasn't used to not arguing anymore, or seeing me serve her, or attempt to, to really put her first, or get serious about my walk. And I would know, I think at times she wanted to really know if it was real, so she would like poke at me. That's why she's laughing, because she knows I'm telling the truth. She would poke, saying, hey, is this really changed? I don't know. But after a season of consistency, the Lord just really healed the marriage. So, the Lord just really helped me to love her, and just really get outside of myself. Also, more importantly, well, not more importantly, but the other important thing is, I'm almost done. The Lord also led me to make amends with people who I've hurt, and people who have hurt me, and forgiving them. I already said in the past that, my mother-in-law and I, we never did get along, and after the 12 steps, now her and I, we're like this. But that happened because I had, the Lord, He pushed me out of my comfort zone. Because I was waiting on her to show me love. Because she always say, Chris, I've been a Christian longer than you've been born. So I was like, well, show me, show the love then. And it never did happen. So the Lord was like, hey, like, bruh, you can't control her. It's on you. So I was like, man, come on, man. So I really had to get out of my comfort zone. And after a while, I started showing love to her, but showing love to her without expecting anything in return. Yeah. And I really took a lot of time, and I would do little things for her, and she would look at me like, okay, thank you. But after a while, now it's like, hey, Chris. I'm like, hey. Now I call her mom, and now we say I love you to each other. I'm like, man, that's no one but the Lord. Like, He did exceedingly abundantly. So, I'm just gonna end it off by saying, I thank the Lord for the breakthrough He's done, allowing me to finish in step group and giving out chips as well to people, leading small group and helping serve. And more importantly, He's also given me boldness to share the good news of Jesus to others. And that's the best thing about it. Like, He used my mess as a message to others. Now I'm sharing the gospel at my job or in the gas station to random people. It's like, man, I didn't have this boldness before. And it's like, man, God's like, yeah, bro, it was never you, it's me. So it's like, yeah, you're right. And it's just been so amazing. So, Jesus, like I said, He really, did amazing. That's all I can really say about Him. But, all I can say is, thanks for letting me share. It's been a blessing.